sitting in traffic, but I wanted to just come on here and just talk a little bit about like where I'm at mentally, what is happening, like just for myself, first and foremost. Like I feel like I write a lot of stuff down, like I'm really good at journaling, but to say it out loud, it's not something I do often. And I think that just even in general, like just my like doing YouTube or like talking out loud about certain things has never been something that I've known to do. What I've known to do has always been like write it down, keep it in, like just very inward healing. And then so it's very, very vulnerable for me to get on like a platform or anything and say words and then have people hear me. Like I've always wanted to do it. I just don't think I was there yet. Like I want to make sure that I'm being very careful about what I'm saying and what kind of things I'm saying to the world, where I hope to be heard as authentically. I hope that my word comes out to people as genuine as possible. Like I don't want to come out and speak lies about who I am or what I'm doing in my life, and just be really, really honest. And I hope that whoever gets to hear like what I'm going through, like I hope that they really do like take it in a good way, in a positive way, take something positive from this. And like that's really like what I want to come on and share. Like I don't want my words to ever be misconstrued. I hope that whatever I'm saying resonates. And if it doesn't resonate, like those people that aren't resonated, allow me to have a conversation with you about it. Like I really do think that I'm always learning, and it's really, really important for me to be honest, as honest as possible, and allow for conversation to happen when I do make mistakes. That's really what I'm looking forward to. I feel very vulnerable to come on camera or just say things out. It's not even about being on camera. I think I'm comfortable on camera. I'm not comfortable saying the words, right? I'm not comfortable speaking it out, like what's in my mind, what are in my thoughts. It's so easy for me to write 2-3 pages of how I'm feeling, but when I'm saying it in words, like it's really, really hard. I get one person on Tumblr who really like fights for me and like wants to like hear me out, and I don't know who they are. They come on as anonymous, but it really, really like means so much to me. And it's not like it's not in the back of my mind. It's just really, really hard for me to like express myself and not feel authentic about my expression. So that's why it's really hard to come on camera. But I hope when I do show up, I show up and you guys know that, or whoever knows that, like I'm showing up as authentic as possible. I want to share as authentically. I want to have a conversation that creates even more authentic conversation outside of this space. So yeah, that's my intro. But yeah, I think my main thing that I've just been going through lately has been really organizing my thoughts, and through this, like it's actually helping me organize my external life, and just organizing my thoughts has really allowed me to do that. Like and what I mean by organizing is just like when I'm having like thoughts or intrusive thoughts or just thoughts in general that are just like, maybe they're not real, like things happening, maybe it puts me in panic or maybe it gives me anxiety. Like notice what thoughts are doing to me rather than allowing the thoughts to just do, like really stepping in there and being like, no, that's not true, you're safe. Sometimes we can get into these mode, or at least for me, like I'll get into this mode of like this happened and this happened and this happened and this happened, and I'm like, oh my god, like, and then like realistically I'm just driving, like there's nothing really happening, but I put myself in this panic. So I think having, like, understanding that it's happening and being like, okay, look, you're thinking of stuff that's not happening, look at where you're at, and being present realistically. Like, I think that's been like the main thing that has helped me to get unstuck. And I'm just going through it, but it has allowed me being present to get unstuck from those thoughts. It's such a simple thing to do, to be like, no, I'm safe, like, I'm here, I'm okay. And it gets easier, and I think I'm at a point now where it's really easy that, like, I'm starting to have fun with, like, organizing my thoughts. Like, oh, look, you're having a negative thought, you're going into the spiral of thinking about negative thoughts that could happen to you, or thinking that someone's talking about you, or putting a narrative of, like, other people in your head. Like, I start to, like, organize it and be like, okay, cool, like, this is what's happening, but I'm in the present, but this is what's happening. And reaffirming that everything is okay, like, that has been everything for me. And I think the reason I've gotten better at it has been through meditation, has been through just, like, breathing, has been through yoga, has been through journaling, has been through, like, conversations with, like, my friends. That's really, or like, where I've found a lot of healing. And I find even more healing when I'm saying the words out loud. But yeah, like, that's where I'm at. Like, this is what I've been doing. I've just been becoming more present. And I really want to make like, another thing, talk about, and something else. Like, meditation is not what everybody, like, meditation could be anything. It could be art, it could be drawing, and that's like another thing too. It's so flexible. Like, I think I've just become so flexible with how I do things, when I'm waking up, when I'm going to sleep, how much I'm meditating for, what kind of stuff I'm writing, what am I talking about, like, putting myself out there. Like, whatever I'm doing, I'm allowing myself to be flexible, because I feel like like earlier, like, just me, like, figuring out my mental health or things like that, working on myself. Like, at first it was like, wake up at this time, do this, and then by the time I was, like, in bed, I was exhausted. Like, I literally exhausted myself in a journey that can be so freeing. Like, I was literally, like, I was literally trying to put a cage onto my healing, and then it wasn't fun anymore. Like, I was just like, man, I gotta wake up at this time, man, I gotta do this, man, I can't do this. Like, I was literally putting like, my default is boundaries, no, this, like, strict, like, you gotta put show up in this way, and this is how people expect you to show up, so show up like that. Like, that at first was my, like, how I was navigating through like, through different things. And now that I'm, like, in this part of my life, like, I was trying to box myself in to be like, you have to meditate at this time, and you have to journal, and if you don't do it, like, just being very judgmental. And I think now I'm practicing on not judging it. Like, cool, I woke up at 8 a.m. today, cool, like, hey, you need a nap, like, let's take one, like, and being really flexible with myself, but not lazy. Like, I think that's the difference. Like, I think that's where I'm finding balance. Like, cool, do it, but be flexible, right? Like, don't say, I have to wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning, and if I don't, like, I'm gonna have like, you're already sabotaging, and I was already sabotaging. I was already putting it in, like, in these boxes, and this, like, the same thing. And it was why my mental health was so hard before, because I felt like I needed to please everyone and everything, and I wasn't really having fun anymore. And I think that's where I'm headed back to. That's where I'm at now. Like, I'm just having fun, I'm just figuring it out. Like, even though that there are some times where it's not necessarily fun, like to go through some stuff and feel things, like, all of those stuff I'm doing. Like, I'm actually feeling sad I'm actually feeling this way. I'm actually feeling very vulnerable. I'm actually feeling really needy. I'm actually feeling really like I just want to isolate. Like, I'm going through all of these emotions, don't get me wrong. So, but I'm not judging them anymore. And I'm just having fun. I think that's what makes it not fun, when I start judging myself, when I start saying like, you didn't do it right, like, man, you had a better meditation yesterday. Like, it's so different every time that I think if I continued on like being so angry with myself, I would not be like successful. And I think that's what I'm learning too, that like I don't always have to be in trouble. I don't always have to think that I'm doing it wrong. Like, I'm fine. Like, it's fine. Like, I'm learning, you know. And I think going back to what I said about like be flexible, but don't be lazy. Like, you know, it's really easy for you to be like, I'll do it tomorrow. Like, I didn't meditate today, I'll do it tomorrow. That's when you start doing that over and over. Like, no, like, you have to have this core value. Like, hey, like, what I mean by flexible is like, if you woke up at 8 p.m. because you fell asleep at 11 p.m. yesterday, okay, like, I didn't wake up, like, I have this shorter meditation to do now, like, and kind of just, and then be like, okay, well, tomorrow I'll do better. Or, you know, like, the next day is about evolving and not this car burn. That's crazy. So yeah, I think that for me it's been so healing to not judge myself, like, and go, like, not judge myself, obviously, and then be good with whatever happens next, and try to evolve the next day. If I didn't get to do it this day, but do it tomorrow, right? Do better tomorrow. Be more mindful of my bad habits tomorrow. If I did something that I wasn't supposed to, like, you know, and I want to really talk about what happened Saturday for me. It wasn't nothing crazy, but I was just feeling super emotional, like very emotional on Saturday. Like, I was in bed, and then I had to go somewhere with my family, and then I'm there with my family, and then I just have such a bad attitude, like very like cut off, irritated. You could hear it in my tone of voice. I was just really irritated. So then what happens is that like, I just was really irritated that whole day. And like, I think we ended our day around 4. Like, I got home, and I was like, and I literally like wanted to cry. Like, I just kept asking, like, what's wrong? Like, to myself, I was like, what's wrong? Like why are you so mad? Like, what's wrong? And then finally, like, I just got home, and I was like, I just need a shower. Like, I just need to take a shower. I took a shower. I meditated for a good 20 minutes. It took me like an hour to kind of just like rebalance myself and recenter where I was at. And then in my meditation, I really saw like why I was angry. I was angry because like I didn't give myself that time in the morning. So now I am understanding how important that time is for me. Because if I get too lazy and I don't wake up, like, then I'm not gonna meditate, right? And like, that's not only gonna help help me, but it's not gonna help anyone I'm around. And I never want to be make someone's day worse, you know. And so for me, it was really like eye-opening for me. Like, okay, like, so this is what I need. Like, I know what I need, and I'm gonna honor myself so much to actually execute it. Like, if I need to wake up earlier to do a meditation, you know, and kind of be prepared, you know, like, do that prep for me. Like, that's preparation for me to the world, you know, like, to show up as authentic as I can, to show up as honest as possible. And throughout that day on Saturday, I was just like noticing a lot of like the habits that I had when I was angry. So I think that it was a good lesson for me. I think everything happens for a reason. I'm well aware that day it really showed me, like, you know, look at your habits. These are your habits. But I haven't had one of those days in so long because I've just been like really centered. But when I'm off center, like, those are days I like, because then it tells me like, look at this and work on this, and you know, sometimes I have to sit with these feelings so I know what they are, so that when I'm feeling in a better space, I can actually like do something, like I can actually like feel good and show up as authentic as possible. And that's what I want, and that's where I've been like kind of working with myself, you know, like having faith in myself. That's like the big theme that I like, faith in myself, faith in a higher power, you know, faith in like that not everything I can handle, and I think that there are some things that God has to handle for me, and that's why I practice gratitude as well, not only for myself but for God, you know, like and remembering like how big this world is, and I don't have to like stress about these small things that are in my head that are not really happening, right? So that's the faith that I'm working on, you know, and just gratitude for sure, like a lot of gratitude through everything, through the things that I'm learning, through the things that I need to still learn, experiences and feelings, you know, gratitude, trusting myself, trusting that I can do this, you know, and organizing is for sure something that I'm working on, organizing my thoughts, organizing how I move through life, making sure that, you know, like I'm in spaces that feel like good to me, that bring me joy, and organizing myself internally and externally, whether that's my space or who I'm hanging out with, what spaces I'm choosing to hang out in, you know, just organizing that, like that's really like the best way, and like letting go of things that need to be let go, and allowing things to just flow, and it's all about that balance, that balance of consistency but flexibility, right? Like things aren't gonna go your way exactly, and you just gotta know that whatever's coming next is the best thing for me, like the best thing for me. I think those are the main ideas of what I've been going through. I really hope that this made sense, and I know that throughout, like the way I talk is like I'm often talking like to someone else, but I'm really just talking to myself. I work in social services, so I work with people all the time, so oftentimes I'm giving them advice, and so when I speak to myself like about me, I'm speaking like I'm talking to someone else, but I'm really talking about me, and this is all just for me.